Next week. Which is shot porridge. Barley. Barley. No, they can. That's what the I realized. Small place that. I wanted to visit some wood and all.
برضه قاعد بعدين واحد وخلهم مش حاكمني بدوري.
Oh man. More than one wall if we could change the shield once it. Yeah. 8 to 9 instead of 9 to 10. It's too early.
When?
Every Tuesday night. Instead of 9 to 10, 8 to 10.
Man, they can line then. عشان
No, I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
If the whole island wants?
Yeah. It's too early. Yes. For sure. Thank you. Mr. John?
No. Thank you so much. Okay, we're holding in page Static Vav.
Set it up as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
So, yeah, it came with the time. It came. So,
Pristine condition.
yeah.
Once
It's only
once a week you use this.
use it only once a week. So, okay. So, we're holding that Vav. We started last week. We're holding page Sadik Vav, the last 7 lines. Yeah. There was a Fabrengen in Tafshin Yud Beis. It was the Yortzeit of the Alter Rebbe. So the Rebbe said, no, it's not. So it was Chavdala Tevis. So the Rebbe said that it's brought in Tanya, which we're going to be learning in a minute, that what happened is that this person was a Balaveda. So he gets his energy now. This man it must come directly from Yud Vavke. But the Zman Hagolus, it could go through the Klippa.
What the heck?
So therefore, the Klippa is so excited because the heat has an incredible energy. So now it goes through the Klippa, and the Klippa is so thrilled that they give him Chelik Berosh. They give him Chelik Berosh. They give him Chelik Berosh. That's a lotion. They give him the best piece.
There you are.
So Chelik Berosh. They give him Chelik Berosh. So the Rebbe said that Midah Tova is much better. Thank you very much. Midah Tova is much better than Midah Puronis. So for sure, the person that gets involved in the was the Yortzeit, the Alter Rebbe. So for sure, Neutel Chelik Berosh. The Alter Rebbe asked the question, and in Perek Hey Vav is the answer. Question was, why is it that there are people that are Chayiv Kodesh, Bezman HaBeis HaMikdash, they would die at the age of 50, 60, Kodesh and Misa B'dei Shemayim? And why is it that Richu Yemei V'Shin Seim Banimim? The Alter Rebbe answered that Yaakov Cheva Chalosa, it's like the neshama is like a rope that's tied up in heaven, and then if a person is disconnected, the rope gets cut, so then the person can't live anymore. He falls down and he dies. But that happened Bisman Beis Hamikdash. But Bisman Hazeh, it's shayach that the energy should come through the klippa, and therefore he's living. Then the Alter Rebbe added that Adarabah, that he's living b'yeser seisa b'yeser oz. That is that he's getting extra energy. The Alter Rebbe asked why they're alive, and not only they're alive, but they're living a sweet life. Manimim. So Adarabah, b'yeser seisa b'yeser oz, because the Zohar says that the ashpah from this person is now coming through the klippa. So because he has the bechira to get his energy through the klippa loves it. They get energy that unbelievable amount of energy that you usually don't get. So they give him chelik berosh and they're very excited. That's why he is not only living, but he's living b'neimim.
That's why God is having bad people?
No, that's why.
That's what's keeping him alive.
Yeah, that's why not only he's alive, but he's living a good life.
He's thriving.
Yeah.
And in time Beis Hamikdash, it didn't work.
No, it couldn't work. In time Beis Hamikdash, he couldn't live.
The kedusha was so strong
that the only way to live was to live through directly from
Kedusha.
Yud Kei Vav Kei. And if it got cut off, it got cut off. Okay. Hine Yaakov Chevel Nachlosei Ksiv. The pasuk says Yaakov Chevel Nachlosei. Derech Moshel K'moy HaChevel Shalosh Echad L'mayla V'Rosh Hasheni L'mata. Just like if you have a rope, and the one side it's tied L'mayla, and the other side it's tied L'mata. Yimshech Odom V'Rosh Hasheni. If a person will pull down the lower half, also the top half will get pulled down. As much as he could pull. If he has a rope, and the rope is sitting like this, and this is Rosh Ha'echad, this is Rosh Hasheni. Now the person takes and he pulls it down. So just Rosh Ha'echad and Rosh Hasheni are both going down. They're going down, down.
How do you touch Chevel Nachlosei? The middle touch Yaakov Chevel Nachlosei.
A rope of his nachla. Chevel, a rope of his nachla. The same thing is when it comes to the source of a person's neshama. Is the source, the highest, on the higher end of the rope, it's the heitator. Asitre achra, kivyochel. Shemishom mekabel machshavoisav v'maisav. He's pulling down the rope. That means not only the part of the neshama that's in his body, but also the part of the neshama which is lamaila gets all the way pulled down into the sitra achra. Neshu hu amamshech lahamashpo, because he's giving them the energy. He takes the juiciest, the best part. The Rebbe asks a question. The truth is, I would say it's not the most pressing shaila, but when you learn in the previous Pedic, the Alter Rebbe says that Yaakov Chevel Nachlosei, that there's a rope, that the rope is tied from the neshama, that the way it is in the guf up to the sheirish and neshama lamayla, and if you cut the rope, then the person is going to go flying from the cliff, and he's going to hit the ground. He's going to die. Shane. Now we're saying that they're giving a mashal that just like a rope, when you're pulling it down, the rosh echad is going to come down. You just said that when a person does an aveda like a thing of kodesh, he cuts the rope. He cuts the rope, and then he goes flying, and he can't live past 50 or 60 years. So what are you telling me? That, just like a rope, that the Rosh Echad, the Rosh Hasheni, and if he's pulling it down, it all goes down. But you told me he ripped the rope. He cut it. He severed the rope. It's nicht. It's a mashal. It's a mashal. But still, it's a mashal in Tanya, and the Tanya, the mashal has to be mechuven. The Rebbe says that in Pedic Hey and Pedic Vav, we're talking about a different rope. We're not talking about the same rope. We're not talking about the same rope. Let's just step back a drop. It's brought in the oldest forum and the Maimonides Chassidus about Rosh Hashanah, that the world runs out of steam. L'shkiyas hachama erev Rosh Hashanah, and when the Jews do the avodah of Tkiyah Shofar, David decides to be a melech on the world once again for another year. What happens in between? So, the world is bisalfus. The world is fainting. That's a shot. You saw people fainting in the night of Rosh Hashanah? Huh?
People say good Yom Tov.
They say good Yom Tov. Alta Beisachayim. They say they even have jokes to say night of Rosh Hashanah. So, what's the shot? So this says Poshet. A person, what's the pshat that the world runs out of Midas and Malchus? So this says that the person is doing something. So for many years they're working. They're working a company for many years. Why are they working? They want to bring home the matzah ball, so that's why they have a job, working in a company. Then Vayhi Ayoim, and they have no reason to work anymore. The guy bought a lottery ticket. He won $1 million. He doesn't have to work anymore. Okay.
Couple is not enough. Not
Not a couple of exams. Yeah, he sees he has the winning tickets. So he has a choice. He could walk out of his office, like just as is and say goodbye. Or, look, he's a chamensh, he's working in an office. He'll finish the day. Maybe he'll even finish the week. He might even finish the month. Don't give him too much jobs because he's not really interested in what he's doing right now. But he'll finish the day, he'll finish the week, he'll finish the month. He's doing what he's doing. But, don't put too much work on his desk. So the pneumius of a person's work is there's a rotzna taining, there's a reason why a person is doing what he's doing. It's shaykh that a person runs out of steam. He's not interested in doing what he's doing. But like you said, autopilot, it's shaykh that it didn't click. Why am I doing it? I've been doing it for 30 years. I've already been doing it. For 35 years, I've been doing the same job. So I get up 5 o'clock in the morning and I go to mikveh and I daven and I go. What do you have to go for? What do you need it for? You know what? Actually, I'm going to stop. But for a couple of hours, he's still doing it. But eventually, it's going to stop. If you wouldn't be machadish the taino of the Eibishter and the Malucha, the world would stop. But for a couple of hours, from Shkiyas Achama on Erev Rosh Hashanah until the Yidden blow shofar, the 12 hours, the 13, 14 hours, the world is bisalfus. It's not nikir on the outside, but on the inside, Kil Davish, there's no interest in the world anymore. It's the same thing here. There's two ropes we're talking about. With two different ropes. The Pnimius Arotzen of the Eibishter is in Torah Mitzvahs and the Yidden. So that's the rope that we're talking about, which is Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is the Pnimius of the Neshama, where it's Nikir, the connection to the Eibishter. And then there is another, that's in the rope that we're talking about in Perek Hey, when we said Vayipach Ba'apam Nishmas Chaim, that there's that direct connection from the Neshama to the Eibishter. Then there's the rope that we're talking about over here. We're talking about a different type of rope. We're talking about a different rope, a lower level, basically. Over there, we're talking about a higher level in the neshama, and here we're talking about a lower level in the neshama. Over there, we're talking about a level in the neshama where if you cut, that's it. It goes flying. And Bezmam Shabeis Hamikdash Kaim, the only way Yid would live is through that rope. Then there's a lower level in the neshama. Even if a person doesn't have Aveda, doesn't disconnect, but he's going to pull down, just like when he has a rope. It's the same thing. The Yid is for it to connect at Yud Kei Vav Kei, and he's going to drag down the Yud Kei Vav Kei Malamayla into the Imkei Klippas. So Frechtzach the Shaila. So why can't there? So why can't in the dime of the Beis Hamikdash? Why, even if a person severed the main rope, you're saying there's two ropes, right? According to the Rebbe's beard, there's two ropes. So if he severed the main rope, why can't he get the chayes from the other rope that's still in existence? So there's a mimer that we spoke about once, Avodah Miyinu in the Siddur. The Alter Rebbe gives a moshel. The Alter Rebbe says that there is a melech. He makes an unbelievable ball, and he invites Sorev, Avodav, HaTeshuvah, and he spends a ton of money on this Suda. And his kavona is that his good friends, sort of Hagdoilim, Vavodas Chashuvim, should have what to eat. But why should the rest of the party go to the garbage? The Avodim and the Shvachas, they eat up the rest when the people leave. The Melech is happy he's happy, the Chatchila, that they have more food. And the Shvodim and Shvachas, they have a few thousand of Avodim and Shvachas that are loyal to the king. They'll eat. But then after they eat, there is still some leftovers left. Well, that's going to be the bones that fall under the table. The bones that fall under the table, the dogs will eat them. The Chotzer HaMelech have a whole bunch of dogs for safety, so the dogs will eat them. So the Alter Rebbe says, that when a person makes a party, when the Melech makes a party, that the kavona of the party is that the dog should eat 80% for the avodim and 2%. No, he's having a party. Elamai there is extra bones, and that is for the avodim. And that's he talks that the nimshal is about klippus, and that's not negated to us right now. But let's just stop at this marshal for a moment, and let's think for a moment. Say if one of the one of the Asorim Chashuvim or the Ben HaMelech loves the marrow, the marrow bones they put into the cholent. Oh,
free.
yeah, you remember?
From them,
Yeah, Hainta von Zon.
From the mud.
Yes, I remember my mother used to always tell me, make sure you get a couple of bones. A couple of bones they used to give you for free. So,
Outcost.
I used to go Thursday for my mother to Brod and Goldschmidt at the butcher shop in Crown Heights. And at the end, I always used to say, Mr. Brod, could you please give me a couple of bones?
When you have time to eat the chalmut, I guess it's verbringen.
Okay, I don't know.
Then get
I can think the Essen Chalk. I just remember shopping Brod and
The
Goldschmidt.
bone.
I don't remember. I just remember always being told you have to ask for the bones. So I always made sure to ask for the bones.
Kingston, Gomoya.
Yeah, so I always ask for the bones. Now the Ben HaMelech likes the bones. Ilu Yitzuya, I'm saying a silly marshal. Ilu Yitzuya, that the Ben HaMelech sees that there's a couple of bones under the table, and he wants to bend down and he wants to pick it up. Do you think the Melech would let him, or do you think the Melech will give him that look? That look like you better not embarrass me by lowering yourself to go under the table to pick up a couple of bones from under the table. Obviously, the Melech will give him a sharp look, and it'll be very clear to him that he has no business. The dogs, they can krichen unter the tish. They have the place to go under the table to take the bones. Very nice. That's only for the dogs, but that's not for the Ben HaMelech, the krich over there. So Zman Abayis, if the chayis of a yid has to come from the main chevel, from the main part of the neshama, that chevel is severed. He can't live. Say, oh, but there is another chevel. There's a lower level within the neshama, which that is still connected. He should get chayis from that. The Melech Malcham Lochem will not allow that his son should bend down under the table and start kriching and picking up the bones like a dog.
Is it like one rope is connecting Aaron Neshama to Yudkevavke, and there's another rope connecting us to Aaron Neshama?
No, that's not what that ever saying. He's saying two ropes that connect the neshama to Yudkevavke, but there's two. Yeah, that's what he's saying. I came home from the Shiur last week, and my daughter said, "No, what you tell the Shiur?" I told them the story I said last week. She said, "You remember Zaidi always? I used to bring my daughters
with the train.
So he said, what did you tell the story with the train and the ticket?" I said, "No, I didn't tell the story of the train and the ticket." But the emphasis is that
8 days,
yeah, they made a song. So the thing is that we're talking about that the king would not allow that his son shakrich under the table to use these bones. My Zayda, I used to bring my children to Fabring with him. That my Zayda should tell, to Fabring with my children. My Zayda was always happy to Fabring. If you came from the street, you knocked on the door. People would knock.
You say this.
Marozov, Mendel, Marozov, anyone could come and knock on the door. Kipshutai. Knock on the door.
His house always is a box of mashkit.
And you just have to knock on the door. And you come inside,
first play, and stop.
And he would take time, and you see, originally he's always had this thing with my grandmother. She didn't want he should have mashke. She was very nervous that it wouldn't be good to his health. But then after he passed the age of 100, so for the last 5 years of her life, she didn't bother him. She let take as much mashke.
It took him 100
Yeah,
years.
she would even bring the mashke on the table, and she would let him have as much l'chaim as he wants. And anyone that came in, you'd fabrang as much as you want. So I used to bring my kids. It was for little kids. So obviously, I mean, what are you going to tell little kids? But this was a story he loved to tell. He would say with such unbelievable chayes. There was a story that his father told him when he was a child, and there's a deep Musar Haskell in it. So the story is that there was a very rich man, a very, very wealthy man, and lived deep in Siberia, Russian peasant, Aish Poshut B'Yosef. And he heard that there's a new invention, that there's a train. There's no more horse and buggy. You can go with the train, and you can go fast. You can go Mesoifoi, Elamat Soifoi. The Tsar decided that they're going to make the project, the Trans-Siberian Railroad. And everyone was talking about it. How does this machine work? Is there 1,000 little horses running underneath? Who pulls this magic machine that it goes so fast? He was determined. He's gonna take a trip with this train. He's got to experience it. He's gonna go all the way from Novosibirsk to Moscow and back. He's just going there and back just to see what this ride is all about. Huh?
My kids on the Q train. That's the fun.
I took the kids once for Cholamoy trips. I went to, there's there's a bridge, the Queens Bridge. They have on the side of the bridge. There is the that goes over the water. So for Roosevelt Island. So for the same, we went on the train and we took a transfer, and with that transfer we went back and forth. So this guy decided he's taking that ride. That's why he's taking the Q train back and forth. He went to the newly built train station. He comes, he says, I want to go on the train. So they tell him, you've got to go to the office, you buy a ticket. So he comes to the office, he says, what is it? What do I need to do? So they tell him that there is the train, there is all kinds of classes. There is a economy class, there's first class. So he says, you would ask me, Shilas, I'm a rich man, just sell me the best ticket. I said, okay, fine, we'll sell you a first class ticket. And they said that they sold a first class ticket. And the lady sees that there's she tells me, you better not lose that ticket because it's critical that you have the ticket. So the man is in the middle of Siberia where it's usually 50 below zero. He opens up his coat and the jacket and another coat and another layer. He opens up his big rope. He puts in the ticket and he asks, when do we come for the ride? Tomorrow at noon. So in the morning, he's already there. He's so excited to go on the train. He has no idea what the train is already at the station. Huge engine and 20 cars, 30 cars. So when you don't know what to do, you look at what someone else is doing. There are four hoodlums. They didn't pay for tickets, and they also want to take a ride. So they came early, and they jumped into one of the back cars, and they clicked under the benches because they were hiding there. They wanted to get a free ride.
Marshall? This is interesting.
Marshall.
It sounds like a money guy.
So he sees them jumping under the bench, and he says, "Wow, that's it. That's what you got to do." So he also jumps on the bench. He's exhausted, and he falls asleep. People, the other four guys, they're careful to stay under the bench, but this guy falls asleep. He spreads his legs. They're sticking out from under the bench, and he starts to snore. People get on the train. The people are laughing. They see a pair of feet sticking out. The guy is snoring. People take their seats, and the train starts to move. The conductor comes around to look at everyone's ticket, and everyone's laughing. They see a pair of feet is sticking out. And the guy is snoring. So he gives the guy a schlep, and he realizes, this must be a ganav. The first ganav he gechapt. And he schleps him from under the bench. He says, I got you, a ganav. He said, what? Me a ganav? I bought a ticket. He says, you a ticket? You're a ganav. Everyone's laughing. He said, no, I had bought a ticket. So let's see your ticket. Guy unbuttons his thing and he starts. And while everyone's laughing, they think he's a ganav. He opens up and he takes out. He has a first class ticket. He has the front car where they have sleeping and a bed in your private room. So the guy said, I don't understand. You bought a first class ticket. You have a reserved room in the first car. Why are you under a bench? He says, I don't know. Look under that bench. Look under that bench. Look under that bench. Look under that bench.
That's true.
He said, I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. I saw, so I followed. So the conductor said, no. Mela, they're ganovim, but you got a first class ticket. What are you doing under a bench? So I said they loved the story because he heard it as a child from his father. And basically, his father said that, you'll see all the goyim in the street, they're kriching under the bench because they're ganovim and they're goyim, they have nowhere else to be. But you have the first class ticket, the Mr. Chayid, the Mr. Chosid. So don't squander your first class ticket on kriching under the bench. So, Bizman Shabbos HaMikdash Oyakayim, I'm telling it courtesy of the Kala who reminded me the story. She'd love to hear the story from Isaiah. But it's a Tifa Musar Haskell. So the Bizman Shabbos HaMikdash Oyakayim, it wasn't shaykh to krich under the table and to grab the bones and to start sucking the bones. It wasn't shaykh. It wasn't shaykh for Yid to do such a thing. The Yid was shaykh to be yoinek from Chevel Nachlose from Yudke Vovke. It wasn't shaykh. But response Shein Beis Hamikdash Chayim, it's shaykh that a Yid not because now in general the chayis of a Yid comes through Klippas Noiga, so then he could drag the Chevel Nachlosoi that it should be sitting in Imkei Klippas, and they benefit from it, and he benefits from it. That's the Nakuda. Let's read a little bit inside. The Alter Rebbe says, "V'zeu shamar Chazal." This is where I say just said, "Ein b'yadeinu loy mishal v'sereshayim v'chulu." The Chazal say in the Mishnah, "Ein b'yadeinu loy mishal v'sereshayim v'loy misur tzadikim." B'yadeinu dafke. Kolema bezman agolos acher churban. What does it mean? What does it mean? Alter Rebbe says, "Ein b'yadeinu." And let me look at the Mishnah. The Mishnah says like this. It's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. Rabbi Yana Yoim and Yadain Loy Mishalvas Rishayim Vaf Loy Misurim Tzadikim. The Forshim are trying to figure out what is the Mishnah trying to say. Okay, so what is Rabbi Yana teaching us? What is Rabbi Yana teaching us? The Bartanura says, Mom Shat Leim Biyadainu Tumaloy Have Biyodi. Kolem Ena Davazi Yadul on Madur Derech Rishayim Tzleicha Nemat Tzadikim Mudukim Biyasurim. We don't understand. Why? We don't. Biyadenu is a loshon. We don't understand why are good things happening to bad people and why is bad things happening to good people. Biyadenu, we don't understand. If you say that that's the pshat, so what is Rabbi Yana coming to help us? I know that it's a difficult question. Rabbi Yana is not coming to answer. So what is he saying? What's Rabbi Yana saying? And obviously that's not what the Alter Rebbe is saying over here. It's fakir. The Alter Rebbe is saying that we do understand because. Because the Yid is possible for Yid to schlep down the Yudke Vavke, that it should go through the klipa, the energy should go through the klipa, and then they get energy and he gets energy, and he's that's why he's banayimim, that's why he's wealthy and things are going very good for him. Other pshat that the Bartanura gives, Ein lona v'zman agolus loy mishalva v'hashket shirogel l'kadosh baruch hu losos l'rishayim k'dei l'tor d'min ha'olam haba. That there is a shalva v'shashket that the Eibush used to give to the Shoyim in order that they should never get any Olam Haba. But the Eibush doesn't do it today. Pashtus why? Because Zman Beis Hamikdash, if a person was an Avarian, he deserved to get a couple of jelly donuts and then kill him again. He's going to have nothing left, no brownie points left for Olam Haba. Bisman hazeh that the Nebach ein itoni ein sesena loreinu vein so the person Nebach, he doesn't deserve such a treatment. So therefore, the Eibush doesn't do such a thing anymore to the Shoyim to say that we're going to give them shalva b'olam hazeh, but l'tordim b'olam haba there should be nothing. The Eibush doesn't do it anymore. That's what the other pshat is. So that's the other extreme. Kloimer Yatzanim Machlal Yishayim Sheinu LaHashal V'Shesh LeYishayim Machlal Tzadikim LeYganish Ashurim Shalonu Einem Shal Ava Yisuri Tzadikim. Still, this is not what the Alter Rebbe is saying here. What is the Alter Rebbe saying? And Machlal, the Alter Rebbe is not busy trying to give Pshat Lachmaim Marim Chazal. He's trying to explain now a person should understand how to do tshuva. He's not trying to go off on a tangent to explain a Maimah Chazal in Pirkei Avos, even though Pirkei Avos is very important. Obviously, that this is a very critical point here to explain something in the Tanya. The Rebbe says what the Alter Rebbe is learning is like this. We're saying Ein B'Yadeinu Shalvas Harishayim means like this. The Be'emes, Bizman HaChurban, there should be Shalvas Harishayim. Elamai Ein B'Yadeinu. What's the Alter Rebbe learning? The Alter Rebbe is going to says that if even a child that's learning this Pedek and Tanya is right away going to be upset. He's going to say, hey, wait a minute. You're telling me that now the energy could come through the klipa, and therefore a Rosha could live more than 50 and 60. Bani Imin. Daddy, where's the money? No, where's the millions in the bank? Wo the geld? Wo the geld? The Alter Rebbe just explained that Bisman Abayis, it wasn't shaykh to krich under the bench in the 20th car with the Ganoven. Bisman Azeh, it is shaykh to krich under the bench. So, and I know Tati, the krich starting onto the bench. So why is it that we don't see the money in the bank account? So the Alter Rebbe answers, that's Take, what the Rebbe Yane came to say in Pirkei Avos. B'diuk this question Rebbe Yane came to answer. That Bisman HaChurban, there should be Shalvas, Rishoim. Elamai, we don't know why. Ein biyodenu tak me verstehen nicht. And also kipshute, ein biyodenu, but it's a pella tak. It's a pella tak. It's a pella. It's a pella. The Rebbe says that the pshat, but the answer really is like this. That because most of us are not Tzidut Rishoim Gemurim. So living past 50 and 60 is shayach. But that Banaimim, in order to live that sweet, juicy life, the Yid has to bring in he's got to bring the underworld, he's got to bring them the goodies to the underworld. Most of us are not bringing all that goodies to the underworld because Takazoi, we're not such Rishonim. We're not bringing them the goodies. And therefore, they don't give us, they're not delivering us a Pelik Berosh. This guy, he was a child, he was helping the Nazis collect people's apartments in Budapest. Every time he could bash Israel, he'll bash Israel. Not going to say his name, Chas v'shalom. And so therefore, I might be talking about a mythical person that doesn't exist. And he's one of the richest human beings on planet Earth. Chas v'shalom, that he should give a nickel or a dime to Hadassah Hospital or to any Jewish cause. But if it's something to do with the worst of our enemies, he'll give them plenty of money. That's why it's the Bani Imim to say Bani Imim. That's why this miserable guy is living past 50 and 60, and he's from the richest man on planet Earth. So when the child is going to ask you, Bazoi, Tati, du kriegst under the bench, how come you're not like that guy? The answer is because I'm not delivering the goodies of the underworld. So therefore, Taka Shaykh to live past 50 or 60. And Taka for bigger Rishoyim and Shaykh that they're living Bani'im Moichet. But how come I know Yoda Inish Ben Avshay that I'm under the bench? So how come by me it's not that type of Bani'im? The answer is that Taka Rebbeinu Toch Gezok that it's a pella. Really, it is a pella. Ein biyodenu mishalvas rishonim. It should be. In other words, the way the Alter Rebbe is teaching the Mishnah is that Rebbe Yannai said we should achar achurban. We should have shalvei rishonim. But ein biyodenu tak it's a pella. We don't have it.
The worst place to be in America is the middle class.
So that's the shalvas. There exactly. They don't get the shalva. Biyodenu dafke kolema bezman agolus achar achurban. V'zo v'finis golus hashchina kivyoch. And that's the pshat of the Golus Hashchina. That the Yid pulls the rope down into the Cholos of Sitra Achre. The Eibishter hates the Sitra Achre. But because the Yiddish Neshama is connected to Yudke Vavke, so when the Yid krichts into the Sitra Achre, the Eibishter Kivyochel kricht rein the Sitra Achre. When a person does the proper tshuva, he takes away the ashpah that he draw down to the klippa through his ma'isa. Through his tshuva, he brings back the energy of the shechina to its rightful place. And that's the pshat when the Zohar says tshuva tator is toshuv hey. Toshuv hey, tshuva law, toshuv hey, tshuva tator, that there is the hay that got never schlepped all the way down into Klippas Noiga, and then the person schleps it further into Cholet Klippas Atmeis and Sitra. When a person does tshuva, he brings it toshuv hey, he brings back the Helam Koima. And that's a pshat, Kamachikosa Veshava Hashem Alakecha Shvuscha. The Loimar, Im Shvuscha, that Eibishter, it goes back with the Yidden from Golus. That the Eibishter goes back. So what's the pshat? The Eibishter goes back. So the Alter Rebbe is saying it's not like a euphemism. It's not like, but a moshel. That, the Yidden in Golus, the Eibishter feels bad for the Yidden in Golus, and the Yidden come back. that Kipshuta, just like the Yid is in Golus, but when the Yid, who's Yaakov Chevel Nachlose, when he takes the rope of his neshama and schleps it down all the way into the depth of the klipa, the Eibush himself, Rosh Echad Lamayla, Rosh Echad Lamata gets drawn into klipa. So when the Yid does tshuva and that goes out of Golus, the Eibush that was with the Yid in Golus also goes out. So that's Takad Pshat, that V'shov Hashem Elokechas Shvuscha, that the Eibush goes back with the Yid. The emes is the Rebbe Rashab writes that even though the klipa give a lot of energy to this individual who gives who brings them the goods, eventually they're going to spit him out, because eventually it's not going to happen. With every Yid, so every Yid is really connected to the Eibishter. And the Rebbe says that the fact that we said that there's two types of ropes, and there's this type of rope, it's a lower level in the neshama, but Bama says, Gufa, why is there a chelik in the neshama that could never be severed? And why is there a chelik in the neshama that's always connected? Because bepnimius, a Yid can never be disconnected from the Eibishter. So the Eibishter made, because be'emes, Yitaka can never be, just like a child can never divorce himself from his father. So, exactly.
It's not a bias.
What's a little touch men and HaTeshuvah?
The pasuk, it's a pasuk in Shmuel or in Malachim. That the woman said to the Melech, that the Eibishter makes all kinds of machshavas to make sure that no Yid will be nidach, no Jew will be pushed away
On the first?
from the Eibishter. Yeah, the Rebbe made this very big. Yeah, what are you saying?
It's not a bias. There was no Cuba from when we go. It was just
Either I'd say he died. If the Chevel Nachlosoi got cut off, so he died. He couldn't go past 50 or 60.
That he got all his Olam Hazeh.
Oh, you're going back to that guy Bisman Abayis, according to the Bartanura. So, but for that he did a few Maisim Tovim. So before he died, David Shtatamangeshtupt as that's the Bartanura. That's not what the Alter Rebbe is teaching in the Mishnah. The Alter Rebbe is teaching differently. I mean, Elo Divrei Kim Chaim, and still that's the case. The shaila is, what's the ikep shot in the Mishnah, or at least L'Gabin Yaneinu and Tanya.
If somebody, the person is sick, and the doctor said, don't eat these, Rashi said it. Then he says, that's it, you're going to die next week. Eat whatever you want.
Now you understand what we started the Shiur with, that the Rebbe says that that we say that there's no chelik beroish. Even in the den of thieves, there's a couple of rules. Because he brings them the goodies, he's not chelik beroish. So Kolchkin for sure, but Tzaddik Kedusha, when Yid gets involved in spreading the mayonas of Torahs, Hasidus, and the Chutza, and it's affecting other Yidden to give them Samachayim. So for sure, in the schus that he's giving the Samachayim to other Yidden, that he's noitel to chelik beroish, that he himself, that his neshama should be alive. That should him emes dikachayis. They shall help and take it. There should be v'shom Hashem Elokechas Shvus. So in our own avodas Hashem, all of Klal Yisrael of this Mashiach.